This is London Tonight with Natasha Kaplinsky.
Hello, good evening. 10 years ago, Dwain Chambers was breaking records. Then it emerged he'd taken performance-enhancing drugs. It was a decision that changed his life and threatened his career. It left him with a lifetime ban on competing in any Olympic Games, a ban that was imposed by the British Olympic Association. But a hearing that begins on Monday could reverse that ruling. In 2002, Dwain Chambers began taking performance-enhancing drugs and tested positive for an illegal drug a year later. The sprinter was banned for 2 years and stripped of his medals. Since then, he's returned to the track and has once again become Britain's fastest man. He is the reigning 60-metre indoor world champion. But Dwain Chambers is banned from competing in the Olympics for the rest of his life. It is a ban that no other country has.
What he's done in the past, he's been punished for. He served his 2-year ban. You know, he's came back into the sport and he's doing great things for the sport.
If you know beforehand what the rules are and then you break them, you have to take the consequences.
The rules in athletics state don't cheat, and simple as that.
And I believe in second chances. I think it's one of the foremost human values, giving people another chance. They make a mistake, they learn from it, and they should be given an opportunity to find redemption, I think.
That's what the athletes think. What does the man himself have to say? In conjunction with ITV's Tonight programme, Dwain Chambers has spoken exclusively to London Tonight about the past, the present and the future. Our sports reporter Sally Williams went to meet him.
I just wish I'd never done it. I just wish if I could turn back the clock, and if I was able to do that, I would in a second. But this is the real world and you can't do that.
Of all the people that you let down when you took drugs, which one affected you the most?
My mother.
Why? Because of her reaction?
I don't know, it's just you never want to hurt your mum. You never want to do that, because they have to bear the brunt of people talking about their child, and there's not much you can say. So despite I hurt my friends and my teammates and the public and my sport, the one that hurt the most was my mum.
Dwain Chambers' decision to take drugs to improve his career instead destroyed it. A decade on, the process of rebuilding takes place beyond just training. This school in Newham is one of many he visits for charity. He hopes being open about his past will help them.
What did you do during the time you were banned?
During that time, I felt very sorry for myself. Just very sad about what I'd done to myself in the sport. So I spent a lot of time just trying to fix things.
There's going to be a point probably at which your kids grow up and maybe ask you that question, Daddy, why did you cheat? Is that going to be hard to answer?
Probably difficult. They're going to ask me why, and I'll explain to them. They're my children, so I'm not going to beat around the bush about it. And the reasons why I'll be straight with them about it is because I don't want them to make the same mistakes that I did. I will set an example that when you do make a mistake, you put your hands up, you own up to it, and whatever it is, the punishment, you serve it, and then you get back on with it again. And that's what I'll instill in my children and anybody else's children.
Dwain, it just reminds me again of a lesson that we're teaching here with the children is saying sorry enough, and will it fix everything?
Sorry at times is an easy way just to fix things. It's just like putting a plaster on a wound that's not going to heal straight away. Showing how sincere you are is proven with your actions.
Teammates lost medals as well.
Yeah.
Wow. How were they towards you after?
Not happy. Wow, we didn't speak for a long, long time. And there are still some individuals that are part of the team that relationship will never be the same again.
Among those who have forgiven him, sprinter and friend Christian Malcolm. They've known each other since they were 14 and still trained together at Lee Valley.
I'm going to beat him in front of the big stage.
Get out of town. Go play with the traffic.
He could have quite easily walked away from me, because not only did I destroy other people's careers, I hurt him, because he put a lot of trust and effort and he defended me when people were saying otherwise. So I'm grateful for the fact that he's installed trust in me again. I've apologised to him on a number of occasions. And we still talk about it to this day. And he gives me a hard time about it. But he's okay with it now. And that's what's nice about him.
Why do you think that you deserve a second chance?
That's a good question. I just feel that, many years ago I made a bad mistake. And ever since then I've been trying to correct that. And all I want to do is just get the opportunity to compete and do things the right way. And I may not be given a second chance, but all I can do in between now and then is just strive for that opportunity.
Regarding the Olympics, there are still many athletes who don't want you to compete in it. Do you think about that feeling of not being wanted?
I'm aware that there are mixed opinions about my presence in the Olympic team. I would be lying if I said I don't think about it, because I do. But I still have to put that to the back of my mind.
Through this whole saga, Leonie, your wife, what's she been like?
She's the one that's kept me on the straight and narrow. She met me from the moment this situation started. The moment I got suspended from the sport, she was there. And she didn't have to be. I continually ask her to this day, why did you stay? Why? And she goes, it wasn't my place to judge you. I met you, you told me the situation, and it was my choice to stay or go. And she chose to stay, and thank God she stayed. Thank God she did.
Keep your head down as long as you can. Resist the temptation to come up, okay?
Running workshops like this with schoolgirls from Kent is another part of the process of giving something back.
Ah, yes.
By next month, a decision that will affect whether Dwain is eligible to compete in an Olympics just a few miles from here will have been reached.
To be given the opportunity to perform in front of the public is the greatest feeling ever. And even better if you was able to get on the podium and have the national anthem ringing in the background. That is the best feeling ever. There's no feeling better than that. And that is something that not only I would strive for, but all the other British athletes would strive for. And if we could do that on home soil, that'd be the best feeling in the world.
If it's a no, how will you cope with that?
I'd be disappointed, naturally. I don't know how I feel. I don't know.
Well, Sally's in the studio now, as is Olympic medal winner Roger Black. Hello to you. Roger, to you in a moment. Sally, it's out of Dwain Chambers' hands now, isn't it? You said in your report there it'll be a month until the proper decision is made.
Yeah, first of all, he's got to go and defend his title at the World Indoor Athletics in Istanbul this weekend. And then the hearing starts on Monday. It's going to last one day. It's behind closed doors. And we expect the result from that, the decision, in April. And what you'll get at that hearing is you'll get the BOA defending their right to keep that lifetime ban, saying that they should have a right to choose who is in the team. On the other side, you'll have the World Anti-Doping Agency, who say Britain is out of step with the rest of the world and that effectively they're punishing athletes twice. And all this is against a backdrop of the fact that there will be many athletes, former drug cheats, who will be able to compete at the Summer Olympics, London 2012, whilst the likes of Dwain Chambers can't. And whilst many people think that's unfair, a whole host of other people on the other side say, once you've taken drugs, you should never represent Britain again at the Olympics.
Roger, opinion is split right down the middle. Where do you stand in the debate?
I stand on the debate on the side. I think every athlete, even though you may say opinions are divided, every athlete believes that you shouldn't cheat. Let's make that clear. The issue is, if you have cheated, should you be given a second chance? And I think that's where the split is. I believe in forgiveness, but I think the sport is more important than the individual, and so I don't think the athlete should. I think it's so easy to defend the athlete and feel, because Dwain is a lovely guy. I mean, he's a nice guy. You look at that piece and you think, what a great guy. He's doing some good and all that stuff. But we do tend to forget he knew what he was doing, and he got caught. What if he hadn't got caught? It's a tricky one.
How do you answer the point that Sally just made there, that there will be other athletes who are competing at the Olympics this summer who have committed similar offences to Dwain Chambers, and yet he's
and that's the
not
issue here, and that's the issue. The issue here is it is unfair that you have a British athlete is not able to go to the Olympic Games. When if you're from any other country, postcode lottery, any other country, you can compete at the Olympic Games. Dwain Chambers will compete for Great Britain this weekend at the World Indoor Athletics Championships. He's competed at the World Athletics Championships, the European Championships over the last few years, but he can't go to the Olympic Games. Morally, I think that's right. I think the British Olympic Association should be applauded for that. But you know, are they out of step with the rest of the world, or is the rest of the world out of step with us? I think it's probably the latter. However, I think that Dwain Chambers will be allowed to compete at the Olympic Games.
Roger, if this ban gets overturned, what effect do you think that will have on other athletes? Is it enough of a deterrent to stop them
Well,
cheating?
if you're a young athlete now, you're seeing somebody who tried it on, tried to cheat, got away with it, got a 2-year ban, which is ridiculous. It should have been 4 years. 2 years isn't a long time. Comes back and then goes on to go to the Olympic Games. That's not much of a deterrent, and I think that's a problem. The interesting question from the athlete's point of view is, with Dwain, is out for 2 years, a lot of people feel he still has had the benefit of the drugs, and that's unfair. So I think it's a mess. I think it's a shame. I think he absolutely wishes he hadn't done it, but he did do it, and I think it's a sad day that he will compete at the Olympic Games, but I think he will.
Sally, thank you very much. Roger, we're going to be speaking to you many more times as the Olympics approaches. Thank you both very much indeed for your thoughts this evening. And you can watch more on this story on the Tonight programme at 7:30 p.m. here on ITV1 and ITV1 HD. Moving on, there is growing anger